Hello everybody, I'm SlashinVC. We've got a update to TLG. Grab yourself a cup of coffee. I know I did. Here we go. Let's get into it. It's going to be a long one. We got a lot going on here. This says Cataclysm Last Generation update for 9/23. I realize it is now 9/25. You'll have to excuse me. I've been at work. So this update came out 2 days ago. And it will be the update that my next episode airs on. So here we go. It says, one of the biggest updates yet. Removed the stop targeting. Time spent will be lost prompt from spell casting. There is currently an irreducible approximate 1, I guess, second cost for beginning the process of spell casting. Which is why that pop-up existed, but you had to deal with it every single time you backed out of the targeting menu, and it was really obnoxious. Reduced the thickness of the denim cloak and denim overalls slightly. Removed pair of from all item names, as nobody's going to see boots and think that it's one boot. Plurals still become pairs of, as in boots two, since that would be less clear. So there you go. Restricted the military base to the overrun scenario. Here's another one that I wish I'd known before. This scenario is one of my favorites and a great way to learn how to play the game by giving the player access to everything they could ever want, but restricting their ability to actually use any of it unless they get clever. Unfortunately, if you approach the base from the outside with enough gear to break in, it is simply a run ender, as it instantly satisfies every need you could ever have for the rest of your natural life. Someday I'd like to revisit this by making the military base into an incredibly difficult location, teeming with armored ferals, robots, traps, etc. You know, there's something metaphysically right about what she just described, you know? If you instantly satisfy every need you could ever have for the rest of your natural life, that's what? A run ender. There's something deep about the very meaning of our wants and struggles in our lives, contained right there in that sentence. Removed some vehicles from the regional dump and made the cars dumped there heavily damaged rather than lightly. Also made most of the items damaged. Well, I mean, I guess they would be, right? Because I take something out to the dump and it's in fine shape, and then after it sits there for a while, it degrades. So, okay, fair enough. Slightly adjusted vehicle spawns everywhere else, mostly making military vehicles a bit less common. Yes. I know we were all thinking that we saw too many of those. Changed Batrachian's whipping tongue mutation to use an EOC. This mutation no longer grants any damaging attacks, it just drags the targeted enemy into melee when activated. Changed Gastropod's rasping tongue mutation to barbed tongue. This is an integrated item similar to Fangs, which replaces standard attacks 1/3 of the time, unless the mouth is covered, and has a slightly higher than usual chance to apply any mutated venom the Gastropod may have. This mutation no longer replaces muscle consolidation. You get to keep both. Gastropod's harpoon tongue keeps the integrated item/attack and also grants a new activated attack via the symbol I never know the name of menu. Similar to whipping tongue. That's a brace. I think that's a brace. Or is it a bracket? It's the left variety, either way. Except that it does damage. Currently, this activated attack does not apply venom, though hopefully that's something I can get working on soon. At SEM added separation funnels to a few more locations. They're not meant to be rare items. It's a pretty common piece of laboratory glassware. So now you should have a small chance of finding them anywhere that you find other lab stuff. Thank you. Made all of chemical imbalances random effects have a 50% chance of not happening, so that it's less spammy. Updated Jittery's description. Jittery is a trait, so yeah, it's a trait or whatever you want to call it. It's not a character and it's not a person. Updated Jittery's description and made the duration of the shakes it applies heavily randomized instead of always lasting 30 goddamn minutes. Fences, when smashed, were sometimes boring holes into the sewers below. Oh, you know what? Interestingly enough, I broke down a computer console indoors using the build menu, disassemble. It turned into a fence. And then when I disassembled that, it left dirt where there should have been a floor. It was really weird. So I think this is part of that. Fences, when smashed, were sometimes boring holes into the sewers below. This is something I've backported 2 or 3 fixes from DDA for, and as it turns out, it is still not fixed over there either. I've tried a different method that puts a stop to this issue with fences for now, but it might still cause problems elsewhere. We'll see. And we will be on the lookout. The welding store had way more stuff than you could ever use in it. Did it? It's supposed to be a really nice find, but it was over the top. It's been toned down a bit. It should be saner now. Oh, thank you. I wouldn't want to get too much welding wire. Yeah, that's good. Funnels now properly collect water at a rate commensurate with the rate of precipitation. I actually don't know what she's talking about. I haven't found a welding store in TLG, so I mean, maybe a totally what's the word I'm searching for? A totally benevolent fix right there. Worm Girl's not out to get us, guys. Just bear that in mind. Funnels now properly collect water at a rate commensurate with the rate of precipitation. What? This means that if it's only drizzling, you will need to wait quite some time to get any water at all. Yes, that's good. Sword bayonets have been rebalanced slightly, using the Tonto as a guideline as it's a similar weapon. They have a bit less stab and a bit more bash than the Tonto, which should help them punch through enemy armor without coming off as more precise than a blade that isn't designed to be stuck on the end of a gun. They now fit in knife sheaths instead of sword scabbards, as they're pretty small. Oh, hey, that makes sense. I had that problem in DDA right there. Crafting will no longer spam you with the so-and-so helps you craft messages while you browse the crafting menu. You'll only see that if you actually craft something. Thank God for that. I am so tired of being told that Sue is helping me craft. All I'm doing is just looking at recipes. What's she helping me with? Oh, thank you for fixing that. Anyway, there's some new messaging clarifying where you got access to a recipe from if it's one that your NPC followers has memorized. Really? I mean, it did tell me before. We'll have to see what it says now. Crafting's auto pickup. Oh, this is interesting. Check this out. Crafting's auto pickup range has been significantly expanded. It now goes 8 steps horizontally, 6 steps diagonally, or 4 steps vertically, as Z levels count for 2. What? Z levels count for 2? So 1 Z level up is 2 steps? Oh, I see. Okay. Or any combination thereof from your position to retrieve materials and components. If you have trouble imagining this, thank you. Yes, I was having trouble. Just imagine that the crafting pickup radius is a sphere. As always, it needs a safely walkable path to do this. Ladders and stairs are okay, but it won't path through fire or try to climb trees for you. All right, but I'm sorry, but if it was 8 steps horizontally, being 6 steps diagonally, I get that, man. That's that 3.14 stuff right there. But what about the vertical part? Is this a sphere or more like a flattened, more not like a bulging discus? That's how I'm seeing it right now. I think we're going to have to do a crafting tutorial on the bulging discus of crafting radius. But it's 8 steps horizontally. I gotta bear that in mind. Okay, anyway. So the above also applies to a ton of map functions affecting vehicles, UPS, appliances, and functional furniture. It may let electrical cables for appliances go further than before. At A666 contributed some code fixes to make the game more compiler friendly. I don't know what was up with the code that got fixed or how it ever compiled as it was, but you shouldn't notice this unless you're building at home. I removed the Bandit Farm work camp thing. This was pretty nonsensical location that was just a huge field of cannabis. What? You took away the cannabis? No! Somehow growing in April, out in the open with no fences or any protection from pests, and like 2 bandits inside a building made entirely out of palisades. Nonsensical. You'll see some error messages. Oh no, let me tell you what I did with this. This isn't in my series, but I was playing at home, just minding my own business. And I found all this cannabis. And I had the baker's companion, so I did what any rational person would do. And I went home and I started baking marijuana cookies. No, brownies, pot brownies. And I had a whole pot brownie business. I made a fortune. I bought guns and ammo with my pot brownies because I found this location right here. Dang it. All right, so anyway, fixed the laminated glass. I'll plant my own. I'm going to take over. In my next series, I'm taking over a greenhouse. That's what I'm going to do. We're going to grow pot. We're going to make pot brownies. We're going to make $1 million. I fixed the laminated glass and porthole tiles. I fixed Gemma's fertility supplement mission. As long as you don't eat the pills, she'll properly pay you on completion. Yeah, we've got that mission right now, so that was timely. Fixed the random stool hanging out in the window at the small lighthouse. Cthulhu thanks you. The bandit farm removal was causing some errors and even a couple of crashes. That's fixed. No more of either. Blood. Oh, this one saddens me because I didn't know about it. Okay, check this out. Blood comes in units of 250 milliliters. And because of how butchery works, you are always able to get at least 1 unit from anything that bled. That means you could kill a sparrow and get a whole cup of blood out of it. What's worse, blood had about twice the kcal it was supposed to. And even if you drank it raw, it was totally free of parasites. How did I not know this? I would have been killing sparrows left and right and drinking their blood like I was going out of style, because it was going out of style, man. Hey, go back in DDA and try this. Which is not how blood works, she says. Don't tell me how blood works. Raw blood is now grosser to consume than raw meat, but we love it. It has about half the kcal. It is less risky than raw meat in terms of parasites, but animal and mutant blood is risky to consume raw unless you are a hemivore. Hemivores are immune to catching parasites from blood. I'm putting hemivore on my next... Oh! I'm putting hemivore on my next character, I'll tell you right now. Oh my God. Oh, how did I not know that? I didn't have to bake cattail rhizomes. All right, anyway. Raw mutant meat and mutant blood now carry a 25% higher risk of parasites than the natural stuff. Human meat and blood, even mutated, does not currently risk any parasites. It's still not good to eat raw meat unless you're a mutant, but the worst you'll get for it now is food poisoning. Animals smaller than 4 liters, so not geese, but anything smaller than a goose, no longer produce any drinkable quantities of blood. They still bleed when you shoot them, but there's just too little to be nutritionally relevant. All right. You know, bleed your geese, folks. Bleed your geese. Audited bird sizes. In nearly all cases, birds were way too big. Expect far less meat yield from birds in general. Damn. In general, fish and mammals probably need a similar audit. Stay away from our fish. You leave our fish alone, man. Dang it. I was going to do a Swamp Shack playthrough where all I do is live on fish and cattail rhizomes and sparrow blood. Look at this, too. Look at this. Dandelions had too many kcal. They've been dropped by 25%. Worm girl. Come on, man. Dandelions had like what? 150 kcal? Or less? Or was it 75 kcal? They didn't have that much. Did they? Did I sleep on this one? Oh. Anyway, screw it. We'll just pick more. All right. Dan Cheek noticed an issue with locked smartphone deconstruction and battery sizes and fixed it. Thank you, Dan Cheek. These are now consistent with regular ones. Thank you. As a follow-up to the earlier food PR, I went a little further. Now, eating nasty food, which is less than or equal to -5 enjoyability after accounting for all of your traits, etc., has a chance to make you nauseous or nauseated. This chance scales with the enjoyability score, your traits, and so on. Some foods, raw flesh if you're not a carnivore, human flesh if you're not a cannibal, have a chance to make you nauseated too. This effect lasts a maximum of 15 minutes and can be treated with stomach medicine. Can be treated with stomach medicine. Oh, really? It's not a huge deal, but throwing up does waste all the food that was in your stomach. So if I stock up on antacid tablets, I can start eating what again? Nasty food. Yeah. Raw flesh. Human flesh. What do we need? Just antacid tablets? Okay. Squeamish characters will now flat out refuse to drink raw blood unless they're carnivores or hemivores or starving. Cleaned up a bit of food-related messaging to make it more clear. It's no longer possible to build wind turbines and water wheels on vehicles. That never made sense and only existed because there weren't appliances when that stuff was added. These items can still be constructed as appliances. Reinforced glass isn't what whoever added it thinks it is. In real life, embedded wire makes glass weaker, not stronger, and would be of no benefit to solar panels which are already made of tempered or laminated glass. Reinforced solar panels have been restatted to simply be reinforced with stronger brackets and some wire guards across the face, which adds a small amount of durability at the expense of a small amount of power generation. Chainmail vests weren't properly adjustable due to not having the normal flag explicitly set on the base item. This has been fixed, and they may now be worn as outerwear if desired. Eating lard, tallow, or butter will now make you nauseated, like drinking cooking oil will. Oh, that's going to come as a blow to the butter eaters. Oh, you butter eaters are on notice now. This nausea is randomized in duration, and you don't always barf when you're nauseated. You can use stomach medicine to try and keep your disgusting grease meal down. And I should probably add Alaskan ice cream or something so that there are ways to eat it. For now, I'm not adding this behavior to mayonnaise and stuff because there's not really a good way to use those items as condiments yet. Are you telling me that when people tell me that I just need to gargle mayonnaise, that's the intended use of mayonnaise because it's not really a condiment? Because like I I always save that stuff thinking, man, one of these days when I reach food handling 10, I'm going to be able to use that mayonnaise. I'm supposed to just eat that, aren't I? God, I'm so stupid. You no longer need a syringe to resume crafting infusion if you paused partway through. This was a bug, and it was an easy to fix. Please let me know if there are any similar ones with craft resumption. Cleaned up some martial arts techniques help text. Fixed components for some exercise equipment. Heavy punching bags only require one chain now. And ergometers neither require nor yield chains or or nails. Instead, they use wire and bolts. Goddamn, what is an ergometer? All right, whatever. Wooden doors are now their own item. You gotta craft them to construct them. I don't know how I feel about that. Pretty good, I think. Yeah, actually, I think I feel pretty good about that. It works like a boat hull, I guess, right? Or any number of other things. Wooden doors on cars are no longer many times stronger than wooden boards and quarter panels, and they are no longer easier to install, as you now need an actual door. Fixed a bug where sick ferals tried to give you the flu or the cold every second. The base infection rate is 33%, so you are all but guaranteed to get sick from them. Is that how I got the flu or a cold before? I never realized that. Well, that is so damn interesting. Huh. Sick ferals can now get NPCs sick, and they are contagious a few tiles out, rather than in melee only. Jesus. Really? So a feral gets near your NPC and they can get sick because it's a contagious flu. Wow. Okay. The missile silo is now globally unique. Vehicle boxes and bags now require only one mechanics to remove. Bike racks require two to install or remove. Vehicle boxes require one mechanics to remove. Ooh. The Tacoma blanket mission now accepts quilts and patchwork quilts. Blood accidentally lost its spoil timer. See, this upsets me too. I didn't know this. It is once again perishable. Okay, so we could have been draining non-perishable sparrow blood and hoarding that shit up in like 55-gallon drums and truly solved the calorie problem. Hello, man. The good old days are already gone and I didn't even know they were here. This includes acidic blood. Oh, that's good. Which was previously non-perishable for some reason. The chemicals are breaking down and reacting. If you want to do anything useful with them, you are on a time limit. By anything useful, I think she means make acid hand grenades, but I'm not sure. Fixed ebooks having very slow read times in the dark. At Shikarut submitted a bunch of fixes for Innawood, cleaning up recipes and making sure they use Innawood specific items. Nice. Updated the descriptions for some skins and tanned hides to remove some editorializing and clarify that zombie skin is rapidly rotting and not usable for much. At Abe went through and found a bunch of zombies that either were or were not cold-blooded. They're supposed to be whatever they were in life, so that's now fixed. Basic AR glasses didn't have any storage for their photos. Now they do. Backported a huge amount of mapification stuff, which, like typification, should not be visible or affect you. This might clear up a couple of lingering vehicle bugs, or it might not. Don't show liquids in worn wielded containers in the advanced inventory manager. Re-added the stone fireplace, removed industrial arc furnace, make the regular one placeable, unhard-coded auto pickup manager text, updated how uniform terrain, like the dirt underground, is applied. Moved comestibles to generic factory. This may result in some items having missing decay timers or strange animals hatching out of eggs that don't belong to them. Please report them if so. We just take that stuff to be normal, you know? Oh, look at that. A raccoon came out of that bird egg. It's the Cataclysm, after all. If a bike rack is destroyed, the bike will now fall off. Fixed a bug with the Amigara Horror. Added more support code for riot damage, but riot damage is not being implemented at this time. The riot damage system is going to be incredibly useful for making maps more varied and interesting. But it's not quite right for TLG's setting. Our riots didn't all just happen the other day. And not quite in a state where it's really up to snuff. It'll get there, and we can do all sorts of different things with it, too. Her aside comment was that we're several months behind DDA. Riot damage. Yeah, well, we're several months behind DDA. I'm not familiar with DDA's riot damage thing. When marking a recipe group as red, all recipes within that group will now be marked as well. Ah, very good. Added more support. Yes. Riot recipe added types. Added more types of walls to abandoned houses. Fixed a recursion bug related to schizophrenia. At Caba de Molesta de Papoca, added new orders to the shout menu when NPCs are nearby, controlling their behavior vis-a-vis doors. Oh, nice. At Caba de Molesta de Papoca, also fixed wearable cameras that can now be used again. Did a bunch more mapification via backports. Added some flags for use in MOM and other mods. Blindcraft and Read Blind Fast and Read Blind Slow. These don't do anything in the base game, but Vegetabs needed them, so here they are. At Abe, made chest freezers actually show up in vehicles. They also fixed a bug with the bad reference to a gun mod. Finished backporting from DDA through February 2025, about 50 pull requests. There are too many updates to really list here, but most are minor. Toilets now have toilet paper, usually. Added a bunch of fixes for charcoal kilns. Added some fixes for vehicles, which should prevent a random error that's been popping up when you walk around. Added scroll buttons to character generation, and added a new map special with lots of dormant zombies. Basic zombies, and pretty much only them and a couple other basic types, accidentally still had a cooldown of 0 for their grabs. They now have a cooldown of 3, so they can only grab once every 3 seconds. This will prevent a lot of the grab, escape, insta-grab issues. There's a more holistic fix for this coming later, but it needs more backports first. Backported 27 DDA PRs from March 2025. These include fixed a bunch of crash issues related to the recent wheeled update. Aim and pickup should now, that's Advanced Inventory Manager, and pickup should now not put items into nested containers unless they have some explicit reason for doing so. Fixed some crashes related to sound stuff. Mods can now extend map-gen palettes. Added a light multiplier to weather JSONs. Fixed the half-liter diesel engine not consuming fuel. Moved calorie burn tracking to JSON. Added the appropriate flags to the smartwatch and calorie tracker CBM. Cleaned up some food a bit. There's now just one kind of toastum and one kind of chips. Toaster pastries have been renamed to strudel, and there's only one kind. You can find them pre-made, or you can bake them yourself with a new recipe. Also, toastums are now insanely delicious, and strudels are slightly tastier. An anomaly caused the conference room at the bank to become hermetically sealed, with no doors leading in or out. I have replaced the missing door. Yes, well, I would like to say that that could be the battle cry of the last generation. I have replaced the missing door. By God, no one else was going to replace the missing door, and I did it. And we thank you. All right, that concludes this update on the changes and fixes which have come to Cataclysm: The Last Generation. As of the above stated date, it is now time for me to sit down, have a mild panic attack, strap on my Depends, and re-enter the Cataclysm to record my next episode. So I'll see you there, or I'll see you in the comments. In the meantime, keep your daggum head on a swivel.